More time than it takes to play our odd one out round. For calling birds, which one's the Camilla Parker Bowles? Paul, here is your collection of unlikely lads. Kenneth Clarke, editor of Viz, Chris Donald, Michael Palin, and Norman Lamont.
It's something to do with trains, isn't it? Because Chris Donald is the editor of Viz, as you said, and he's bought an old railway station, converted it somewhere to live. Michael Palin, I think, is a bit of a train fanatic as well. Kenneth Clarke's probably interested in trains. Norman Lamont goes like a train, so he's the odd one out.
So which did you pick as the odd one out? As
well, the
like
clue was in the words, Norman Lamont is the odd one out. By using your skill and judgment, make a sentence from the following words. Norman Lamont is the odd one out.
It's Michael Palin because he's the only one who looks nice.
Can I say, if it helps, can I say Norman Lamont is the odd one out? Does that help you?
Well, it's an interesting development, certainly, because that's almost exactly what you said a moment ago, and you were right then as well. It is that all of them are train spotters, except Norman Lamont.
You don't have to repeat everything I say, Angus. It's very flattering.
No, I have to. It's in my contract. Who, despite living in central London, is a keen bird spotter, although I have a feeling that he won't be going anywhere near Hampstead Heath in the near future. Incidentally, despite tabloid claims that TV switchboards were jammed after Julian Clary's remarks, there was in fact only one call on that night complaining about them. But there were loads after a joke about kicking a dog, just like the British public to side with the dumb animal, but not in this case, it seems. Leslie, 4 toffs for you. Princess Diana.
Looking for cameras.
The Duke of Edinburgh, Sir John Harvey Jones, and Lord Denning.
Well, the Duke of Edinburgh was in the Navy. John Harvey Jones was in the Navy. I don't know whether Lord Denning was in the Navy.
Di was.
Princess Di was in the Navy. So in that case, it would be Princess Di.
They've all been Pipe Man of the Year. Except John Harvey Jones.
I didn't realise that was one of Di's little foibles. But,
absolutely. She smokes a long German one.
And pipes as well. Well, sadly, no nearer the mark. It's that all of them have, at some stage, delivered the Dimbleby lecture. Diana was invited to deliver this year's lecture, but the invitation was mysteriously withdrawn. Apparently, all had been fine until they saw the first draft of her lecture, Duran Duran, the Early Years. Maureen, your bunch of reprobates comprises the Sultan of Brunei, Frank Sinatra, Richard Branson, and Leslie Grantham.
OK. It seems to me that the Sultan of Brunei has given large amounts of money for a child to have an operation, or several operations. Frank Sinatra has done similar charitable things for small children.
Why is this giving you such a guess?
I don't know. I'm just so glad Michael Jackson's not on one of the photographs. Richard Branson is also being philanthropic in that he's flying home all the silly sun readers who flew out to Florida in search of a job. And Leslie Grantham is an actor.
Nowhere near, sadly. Nowhere near. No.
Is anything to do with wives?
No. Have a go.
Thanks very much.
No, they've all released cover versions of My Way.
Except the Sultan of Brunei.
And the other 2.
If we're going to give points for guessing, I'll have to give one to Maureen, as you guessed right with Leslie Grantham, at least. It's that they're all big tippers, except Leslie Grantham, who's a self-confessed meanie. The Sultan of Brunei left a £100,000 tip at a hotel. Still, given his personal fortune is some 20 billion, we've worked out that that is the equivalent of an average wage earner in Britain leaving 10p. Stingy bastard. Frank Sinatra once promised a doorman to double the best tip he'd ever received. The doorman said it was $100, so Frank gave him $200. And on asking who'd given him the previous tip, he was told, "It was you, sir, last time you were here." Frank laughed it off, and the doorman's head was later delivered in a sack. Just kidding, Frank. Obviously a big fan of yours, if you're watching. And finally, in this round, Ian, 4 enlightened liberals for you. Heinrich Himmler, the editor of the Daily Mail, Paul Dacre, former Chief Rabbi Lord Jakobowitz, and a Y chromosome.
I think I'm a bit stumped on this one.
I think it's a homophobia question here.
Oh, good.
I think the 3 gentlemen who are not chromosomes, if you like,
Right.
have all said things roughly to do with being weaker species should you be homosexual.
Effectively, yes. Well done, well deduced. It is the Y chromosome, as all the others have put forward the case for genetic research to put an end to homosexuality, whereas it's unlikely the Y chromosome would want to be tampered with in this way. Females have 2 X chromosomes, males have an X and a Y chromosome, and the so-called supermale, an X and 2 Ys. Supermales tend to be taller than average, uncommonly gifted, and have reading difficulties. Lord Jakobowitz said that if it is possible to prevent homosexuality by genetic intervention, it should be done. What a shame it's not possible to prevent reactionary bollocks by genetic Which stuff and nonsense brings us to the end of this very much 3rd round, and the story so far is that Paul and Leslie are now lying low with 9, whereas Ian and Maureen are cresting the wave with 12. And so we conga drunkenly into our final missing words round. Our guest publication this week, responsible, if that's the word, for an unknown number of headlines, is none other than the widely revered Parking Review, the magazine for all those with an interest in parking their cars. Right, Paul and Leslie are currently in the descendant, so away they go with Gummer braced for what?
Title fight with Hulk Hogan.
Storm over Thorpe.
Thought backlash, yes, very good.
Backlash.
Is the right answer, but slightly late, Ian.
I thought
Di takes wills to see what?
solicitors to see if they can be changed. Yeah.
Can we be allowed to answer first before you jump in?
You don't mean I've noticed your technique of cheating in this round by giving the right answer quickly?
We got to catch you lot up.
It's getting ugly. OK, Paul and Leslie. Di takes wills to see what?
We don't know. Is it the homeless?
The homeless is the correct but unamusing answer. Next, what upsets geese?
Julian Clary.
Is it porno film? Porno film making, pornography. There's a story about this bloke complaining in France that the people next door who make the porno movie are upsetting his geese.
Badly parked Volvos. Badly
Parking
parked
meters.
Sierras.
Parking meters.
No, porn movies is absolutely right. I just wanted Paul to explain it. And lastly, rock stars what annoys neighbours?
Depends if it's Michael Jackson.
Jamming, vomiting.
Should have stuck with the parking
meter.
theme because it is in fact car park. Yes,
Car
I'll give
park.
you 1 for that. Thank you, Ian and Maureen. Police horse throws
Throws
what?
up.
Is it,
Throws discus.
Throws temper tantrum. No?
No,
is it a
certainly not.
double 6?
Boss
Blobby.
is the answer, not Mr. Blobby. Next, who resigns as Tory leader?
Oh, we know
Yes,
this. No
yes.
one notices as John Major resigned. This is Kim
It
Campbell.
was the other woman, yeah. Kim
It's
Campbell.
Kim Campbell is the right answer. Next, what is key to life of bliss?
Marriage. Laughter.
Yale.
Tarama Salata.
It's a surreal image. No, marriage was actually the right answer. Well done, happy marriage at least. And finally, woman wins £20,000 after what?
Parking fine. She challenged it.
After parking on a traffic warden.
She ran him over and got a reward.
Either she was wrongfully dismissed for being pregnant, or she was swindled out of her pension. I can't decide which it was.
Was
It
she
could
a
be
parking meter?
Well, Ian's closer. Tripping in car park is in fact the answer.
I knew it was car-based.
Is a rather drug-induced answer. Which major news event brings us clawing to the end of this final battle for survival? And the simple truth is that this week's funeral marches are for Ian and Maureen with 17, and this week's odes to joy are Paul and Leslie with 19.
I feel rather like Yeltsin when the Russian result came in. How the hell did I lose? Old Zirinovsky over there surging at 19.
How do you do that then?
It always happens though, doesn't it, last round?
What, that someone fixes the score?
Nothing to do with me.
a trend. If you tend to get the answers right, you get points.
It's a complicated system, but you'll get the hang of it.
It's almost like a quiz element, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So a copy of the Have I Got News For You video for our winners.
Oh, no.
A copy of Paul Merton's video for our winners.
And of course, free KYTV videos for the whole audience.
Unfortunately not out on video yet, but we'll let you know. Before we let them slope off into the night, a brief demand for entertainment in the form of our caption competition. Paul and Leslie, this was yours, you recall.
Jigsaw man found alive. Man demonstrates new motorway system for Birmingham.
Ian and Maureen, what do you think of for this?
This is, how do you feel about being the new presenter of The Word?
Yes.
Is the bloke saying to the bull, that's got one of your bollocks off anyway?
Or is it the bloke saying, so, Mrs. Thatcher, how's the autobiography selling?
Is it the cow saying, this is Daisy for Sky BSE? Signing off now.
On which unfeasible note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Maureen Lippman, Paul Merton and Leslie Abdallah. And I leave you with news that at the Harrods Winter Fashion Show, there are fears that supermodels may be getting too thin. After the World Cruiserweight title is won by boxer Johnny Nelson, promoters are accused of lining up too soft an opponent for his first defence. And in central London, Princess Diana responds to news that Charles has had another polo accident. Good night.
A last in the series end-of-year special next Friday at the earlier time of 9 o'clock.
Deep in the heart of a typical living room, we are about to witness the rare coming together of television and radio.
So, radio, I was wondering if I could see you one evening.
Well, television, do tune in, but there's nothing to see.
Look, I meant I could show you a good time.
Listen, you're not on my wavelength.
Why don't we just try it one evening?
Well, I'm easily turned on.
Turn on to BBC 2 and tune into Radio 4 for Arena Radio Night tomorrow at 8.